Hello. Today we have Captain Asha Algappa with us. She is into defense business management for more than 15 years now, and she herself has served Indian Army for 10 years from 1994 to 2004. Captain Asha, we are very happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for those elaborate words for me.
Even today, many girls still hesitate to think about it. So, are the situations different now? Are there many opportunities and avenues for girls also in defense?
Actually, when we started off, we were a batch of only 25 girls then. And
Hmm.
it was a testing time for most of them, ki how women will perform. Will we be successful on ground, fighting it out with men, adjusting it with men in odd situation and odd environments? I think we did a very good job. That's why the number from 25 has now gone to a strength of 250 per training now. Lots of avenues which have opened. We started off only with services. Now we have a lot of other things coming up for women. We are taking up all the operational areas of army, and we are
Hmm.
as good as any other man.
Also, to work in this particular field, what are the typical skills that are required?
Actually, when we talk about skills, it is
Mhm.
being mentally, physically, and emotionally fit, striving for taking pressures in odd situations, and
Hmm.
having the capability to keep motivating yourself and motivating your team.
Hmm.
Very important. The situation and the environment can be very different. You
Yeah.
can't even imagine a battlefield, an operational area like a bunker, like my sites, handling ammunitions and all. It could be very different. You can't even imagine. But motivating yourself, looking forward for that passionate moments of dealing the job with enthusiasm and pushing it to your Jawans to follow it, I think that creates a different aura altogether. So
Yeah.
somebody who is more passionate about this to join defense, my personal request is they should go ahead for this.
So, do you think should be a reason to join Indian Defense Services?
Why not? If you're giving your life to the country, there are some affordable privileges which comes with you. And these privileges are some of the facilities which the government gives you. Like
Hmm.
your traveling is free once in a year, your family is looked after through medicals, you have very superior quality of sports standards to follow up,
Mhm.
superior quality of your hobbies to be followed. It gives you
Mhm.
everything because it is
Mhm.
not the way of working. Army or rather defense life is way of living.
What are the personality traits which are required according to you?
Actually, the moment you type Google personality trends for defense, you get thousands of words.
Yeah.
Actually made a small note called guiding stars.
Hmm.
Guiding stars for me particularly has few particular words. I just read them out.
Sure.
First is integrity.
Hmm.
Your integrity should never be doubtful when you're serving the country. Either you have it or you don't have it. There is no borderline case for integrity. Then the second point is being powerful. Being powerful is not in physical being powerful from your mental strength. That is a thing which keeps you going. Then the next point is being responsible. Whatever it is, the higher you go up, your responsibility increases, and it keeps making it more and more important for you to be taking the responsibility and ownership of what you're doing for yourself and for the men below you.
Hmm.
Then the next is intention. Your intention cannot be doubtful. If an order
Yeah.
is given, you have to go and win that hill at Tonga, Kargil, win that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Either you live or you don't live is not the reason, but your intention was to go ahead and achieve it. You may lose your life. There are others to follow you, but you put the rigor and you put an example for others to follow you. Then the next is learning. There is no end to learning. Even at the age of 65 years, the retired journals are learning new things in life. So why not me? I'm still very young, isn't it?
True.
Then the next one is focus. Whenever a task is given in the army, task comes as orders. So your focus has to understand and follow it in totality. There is no iota of doubt. Either you understand and move for the task, or you keep asking questions to get clarity over it 100 times. But once the mission go happens, you know everything about it. And you know you have the killing instinct to win your mission. That's
Yeah.
it. Then
Yeah.
In the last important point I would like to bring it here is leadership quality. You definitely have to lead. So that is something which should come very naturally to you. And the final point is living in now. If I'm in my present, I'm not lost. I don't live in trance. I think I'm doing a good job.
As every field has lot of misconceptions about it, what do you think are the common misperceptions about the field of defense?
There are actually a lot of it. Defense says that you are not allowed to keep your families with you. But we have, the government is improving a lot of things. There are a lot of family accommodations coming up. We have fantastic separated quarter family accommodations coming up in all the metro cities. The second one is, it is a very rigorous life. When I say rigorous, either you have rigor in your life to enjoy it or you don't have it. So if you accept the way of living, you're part of it. Every bit of it you enjoy. Then postings. You get posted to all odd places. But as a Fauji, I think I was more happier to be living in bashas and tents than actually living in my flat, you know. So whatever myths people call it, they're not myths. They're part of life to enjoy, you know.
My last question to you, those who have already decided now that they would just like to pursue defense as their way of life, what efforts they should be taking now? Means if they are in their studenthood, like 9th standard, 10th standard, is there anything they can start doing right away?
Okay. The sowing of seed happens from a child who is in his higher secondary. That is a time when they should start visualizing what is the field that is going to interest him. Like for me, wearing a uniform was the most desirable thing to do. I used to wear my father's uniform and sleep also in the night sometimes. My mother used to wash the thing and all, and I used to wear it and feel how do I look into it? And I was very skinny and short and all that. My father's shirt used to become my frock. I used to put a belt on it and I used to keep roaming in that in my house. So you have to passionately drive that force in you as a child. And this is the stage in the higher secondary you can pitch that as parents. But it is not that you have dreamed about it and you just forget it then and think only once you finish your college. Maybe then the choices of subjects are very different. For anybody who wants to take defense as a career, I personally feel they should be a science student. Not drop out their art studies, because humanitarian is also part and parcel of your written exams. For example, an NDA student has to prepare for more than 18 to 20 subjects. It includes all humanitarian subjects, high class level of English, maths, physics, and general knowledge. So a child who's imagining himself to be wearing uniform should not leave his studies of EVS, social studies, science, and maths. The basic concept has to be driven from 8th, 9th standard, built up till 10th. Thereafter, he goes into science, but continues to study humanitarian subjects, general knowledge, and English with that. So that by the time he is in 12th, he has touch base all these subjects. And he knows what 1-marker questions are and what 2-marker questions are. Your NDA entrance exams is all about multiple choices. Multiple choices are like you have it, you hit the answer, you don't have it, you just skip and go to the next question.
So all your insights are really going to be helpful for our students as well as our parents.